Puki Joshi Betotam Rira Bingshi Ninde Gambadi Sangye Shindu Migde Uagi Roku Nanda Shingla Chipasho Inam Guru Ratna Mandala Kandriyatayami Chudan Soki Chonam La Changchu Pardu Dagni Kyapsuchi Daki Chenyen Ipe Sunam Gi Dola Penchir Sangye Jupasho Chudan Soki Chonam La Changchu Bardu Dagni Kapsuchi Daki Chenyen Gipe Sunam Ki Dola Penchir Spasho Chudan Soki Chonam La Chanchu Pardu Dagni Kapsuchi Daki Chunyen Gipe Sonam Ki Dola Penchir Sangye Jupasho. All right then. Everybody have the text? You okay? Okay. We stopped at D Kapsutachipala, which is, let's analyze this particular section of the Abhisamaya Alankara. Okay? Asanga and Maitreya wrote this book, right? Let's examine this section, okay? Tendelki Yewa Shepala Dua Shepa, Sendula Zok Shepa, Satsung Shepa Danshi. Dua Shepa. Okay. So I'm gonna go in four large. I hear myself over there. It's kind of weird. I'm gonna proceed in 4 sections. Okay. Which is gonna be the Yewa means the divisions of dependence. Okay, meaning the 12 links. Okay. Yewa means divisions, which is the Biewa, right? Dua Shepa means, then I'll tell you how they are grouped. So you can take the 12 links of the wheel and you can group them in certain, like 3 or 4, 3 groups actually, okay? Say Dula. Dula means, this Du means how many, like Duma, okay? So say Dula Zok, how many lifetimes does it take to complete the 12 links? Can you finish all 12 in one lifetime? Or does it take 2 lifetimes? Or does it take 3 lifetimes? Okay, how many lifetimes does it take to complete all 12 links of the Wheel of Life? Okay? And Satsung Shepa Danshi. Satsung means, Sa means level. Okay? Tsung means equal. And Satsung means, we're going to examine, like if you die in the desire realm and you're born in the formless realm, then how many links are in the desire realm and how many links are in the formless realm? Okay, so when you say Satsung, it's a discussion of parity of power, parity of level. Level parity. Meaning, like actually when you're born into the form realm, your mind has to be there already when you're in the desire realm. Your meditation has to be so good that your mind is out of the desire realm, it's already in the form realm. And then you die and you're born in that realm. So is the mind that caused you to be born there, what's the parity? Was it already in the form realm or was it in the desire realm? Because the body was in the form realm. The body was in the desire realm, but you were meditating very deep and your mind went to the form realm. Then you die and you get a body in the form realm. So this is a very complicated subject. Okay, where do we assign? What level do we assign? How many levels in the form realm? 4 resultant levels of 4 in the formless, and desire is counted as 1. So we say there are 9 sa. There are 9 levels.
Okay.
And how do you move between them? Where are you at some time? This is what I talked about. It's called the translator's frustration. You never experienced any of these levels. And you're translating a whole book about it. But it's like some foreign country that you never went to. Like, I don't know. A KL is not the same as JB. But if you go to Singapore first, and you're like, you've never been there. And there's a whole discussion about the roads to KL and the roads to JB, and you can take this highway, but you might want to take this highway, and you're like, but I've never been there. So it's not easy. Okay. So Dang Shi means, which makes 4. Okay, so learn that use of Dang before a number. Dang indicates a totaling, okay, and that makes 4. Dang Shi. With that, 4. Okay, meaning, what are the 4? The division of the 12 links, the grouping of the 12 links, how many lifetimes it takes to complete 12 links, and at what levels are the 12 links? These 4 subjects. So his whole book is going to cover these 4 subjects. Okay. By the way, if you want a good teaching on the Wheel of Life, this book is the most detailed presentation of the 12 links. Okay? So Sugang got it. I want everyone in this class to think, I got the best book. Okay? I don't know how it happened, but I got the best one. It's like parents with their kids, I don't know why, but my kid's just smarter than all the other kids. Yeah, see?
My book is actually the best one.
Genetic.
Really?
Okay, Dambola, now we're going to subdivide the first section. So the division of the parts of dependence, we're going to divide Yewa Ngoshepa into 2 parts. First ones will tell you the actual divisions. Okay, Ngumi here means the actual divisions. And secondly, we'll describe to you more details about each of those divisions. Okay, so first we'll just name the 12 probably, and then we'll give you some details about each of the 12. Okay. Here's the first. Tamboni. Kune nyomong choki tenda de la yena namba chuni yute. Now, his book is presented in debate format. Okay. So let's consider dependence or dependent origination. I'm going to say dependence, okay? Because it says breath. And we're not going to talk about using the 12 links to go someplace good. We're going to talk about the 12 links in terms of pain. First, okay? Later we're going to reverse them. But when we're talking about the part of when we're talking about the parts of dependence with regard to negative emotions, okay? With regard to negative emotions. And here you see kune, nyomong. Kune nyomong. Nyomong means klesha in Sanskrit, means negative emotion. But when you say kune nyomong, it means totally negative. And that becomes a code word for the painful side of life. So in Buddhism, we divide all life into, here's the good side and here's the bad side. Okay. So I'm going to teach you the 12 links. How do they relate to all the trouble in the world? Okay, kune nyomogi chok. So you can call it, if you're going to be a translator who writes something that no one can understand, you can say totally afflicted side of existence. Okay? And that's how my first Abhidharma translation sounded, and that's why I threw it out. I never published it. It took me 12 years. It's on my computer, I never published it. Because then I learned enough not to say it that way. Okay, so we can say You can say the negative side of life or something. I don't know. Okay. Now, if we're going to divide out the steps of dependence with the negative side of life, okay?
Yeah.
How many parts are there? Number chuni.
12.
There are 12. There are 12 parts. Yete. There are 12 parts, okay? Now, if you're going to really translate this subject, you should be able to say the 12 in Tibetan like a mantra. Dambo mare pani padu cheke lesson banos namshe shipa mingsung apa keja dupare patumba tsawa gepa sepa gupa lamba chupa sepa chuchipa kewa chunipa gashi. Okay, so you should be able to blah 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 blah. Okay, and my teacher made us do that before he would finish. He took 3 years on this book, and he made us learn that. Okay, so Dambo Marikpa should just come off your tongue like Omani Bemehum. Dambo Marikpa. Okay, number 1. Misunderstanding. People call it ignorance, it's a bad translation. Okay? Ignorance can mean you don't know something. Tell me the difference between ignorance and misunderstanding.
Ignorance means not aware of. Misunderstanding means know but know it wrongly.
Perfect. Get that?
Yeah.
So ignorance is a bad translation for Marikpa because it means to actively think the opposite, misunderstand. It's misunderstand. It's not you don't know about it. Okay? Ignorance means you don't know about it. He's just ignorant about how their car works. He doesn't know. But he has a misunderstanding about how a car works means he pours gasoline into the water tank. Okay? That's more dangerous. Okay? That's a misunderstanding. Wrong understanding. Okay? So that's a better translation. And the whole world is wrong. Get used to it.
It's
Talk
not
about ignorance.
They always talk about ignorance. No, and in Stanley's text, Vasubandhu will talk about it. He'll say, this is not just ignorance, this is misunderstanding. Okay? This is to misunderstand. There's a difference between not knowing, he says, there's a difference between not knowing somebody and hating them. Anyway, we'll get to that. So there are 2. Yenlak Dhamma Marikpa. Yenlak means anga in Sanskrit. Anga can mean arms, legs. There's a, what do you call a headstand what do you call a shoulder stand in yoga? Sarvangasana. Sarva Anga Asana. The exercise where you use all your limbs. Okay, so anga means limbs. And probably angle comes from that, ankle comes from that. It means a limb, okay? So there are 12 anga, okay? The 12 links. We call link. I translate it as link, although the Tibetan is branch. Like the tree branch is called anga. But in English, link means connection and reaction, like a chain reaction. We call it chain reaction, right? Chain means links. Okay, so I like to call it link because it gives the English reader the feeling of chuk 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 chuk. Because this is the story of the 12. Push him, pushes her, pushes him, pushes her. Okay, it should feel to the reader like a chain reaction. Okay, no, really. 1 triggers 2, 2 triggers 3, 3 triggers 4. Okay, okay. Yenlak Dhamma Marikpa ne, from the first link of misunderstanding up to, okay, the word par, here, B-A-R, par, okay. The most famous example of par is pardo. When people say bardo, it means the in-between, death and rebirth. There's a spirit between called bardo. So this bar means up to, okay? From link number 1 up to link number 12, okay? So he's finished his first thing he promised us, which is just a general description, okay? There's 12 links, starts with 1, ends with 12. Okay, now let's talk about them. Okay. By the way, Gashi is the name of the 12th link, and it's one of the only links that includes 2 things. Aging and death. By the way, you can't translate it as old age. Tell me why.
Because you could die
Right at birth or something.
When does Gawa start?
When you're born.
Yeah, no, in the womb. Okay, you start getting old. Okay, so you can't translate it as old age. You have to say aging and death. Okay, that would be better. Okay, say ke, ga, na, chi. Ke ga, na chi. The four great sufferings according to Lord Buddha: birth, aging, sickness, and death. Ke ga na chi. Okay, so Gawa is the second one here. Okay. Now, we talked about how for 2,500 years Buddhism has taught Buddhists. And it's not the Western system. It's not Singapore. By the way, Singapore has the highest, it just came out, 15-year-olds in the world took scores, tests for math and language, and Singapore's the highest by far, way above everybody. 3 years ahead of the Americans. A typical Singapore student is 3 years ahead of an American of the same age. There's a huge system they have for testing people. It just came out. It comes out every 2 years or 3 years. And Singapore keeps going like this, and the US keeps going like this. Okay. Anyway, why did I talk about that? That's a Western system of education. The Buddhist system of education is confuse the student first, and let him throw him in the water and let him, and then he will be a better swimmer. He will get stronger. Okay. So the Buddhist system is throw a lot of wrong ideas at him first, and let him work it out. Let him try to work it out. So in this system of textbook, we always get someone come up with some weird idea, which is close. And you have to figure out why it's wrong, okay? And you learn more. Then if I just sit here and tell you, this is the definition of first link, this is the definition of second link, instead of doing that, somebody says, I think first link is like this, and you say, and then the teacher says, no, you're almost right, but there's this little part. And then the student learns more, okay? So here you go. And this trip will take you 2-3 years. So it's starting this morning, okay? Your first stupid statement by the student. Okay? And there will be hundreds. Here's the first one, okay? And I'll be the stupid student, okay? Because I did that for a long time. Dependent origination in Buddhism means causation. Results depend on causes. That's dependent origination. That's the definition of dependent origination. Anything where results depend on causes. And you hear this all the time in Buddhist talks. I'm going to dependent origination, everything had to acquire. It's wrong, okay? Or it's lower, okay? It's correct for lower school, okay? What school are we in?
Lower middle,
lower middle way, okay? In a Buddhist class in the monastery, the teacher will say, what hat are we wearing today? Like, which your hat today? Oh, today we're wearing Abhidharma hat. And then when the teacher asks a question, he expects you to answer from Abhidharma school. If you start throwing in seeds and pen, and he'll say, no, that's Madhyamika Prasangiga. I'm talking Svatantrika. I'm asking you Abhidharma question. Keep your hat on. Don't confuse your hats. Okay, ready? Serna, and then I would cut it there, okay? In the translation, it looks prettier if you cut it there. And Serna means, Konare, in conjunction with Serna, is the same as Adam's text. So your text and Adam's text are very close. Your two texts are debate. Okay? Somebody comes and says, dependence means when some result depends on a cause. Okay? By the way, when the guy comes and says that, and the end of the sentence is Serna, it's always a wrong idea. Okay? A little bit wrong. And you're going to learn something when you listen to some other master beat this guy, you're going to learn something. Okay, so the guy says, I think dependence means anything where a cause depends on a result. Sorry, result depends on a cause. Okay, that's his opening debate. Okay,
And what does that mean?
if you say that,
Oh, it is okay.
if you claim that, how are we translating Adam in your book?
Suppose someone
Suppose.
comes and makes the following claim.
Suppose someone comes and makes the following claim, because konare means someone. Suppose someone, konare,
Okay.
comes and makes the following claim. What's another form of konare?
Kachik.
Yeah, kachignare. You can say kachignare or you can say konare. It's the same thing. Okay? Suppose someone suppose someone comes and says, or claims. Ser means you don't quite believe him. He claims to be the Buddha, but you know, I saw him drinking coffee. Right? Okay. Okay. Now,
My Buddha would drink coffee.
the next thing, the next thing that comes is always the counterexample from us, from our side, from the correct side. So he's going to give a counterexample. For example, if you say, every fruit is red, what's my counterexample?
What about banana?
Yeah, good, good. What chechen means what about?
What about?
Okay. What about? Or you can say, consider in literary English, you can say, you wouldn't say, what about a banana? In a book, you say, consider bananas. Let's talk about bananas. Okay, so our side, he always starts, the wrong guy always starts. Then our side always answers with a counterexample, which is going to prove he's wrong. Okay. So already, if you know the system of these books, you know that what he's using as his example is supposed to prove that guy wrong already. It's dependence, but it's not depending on cause and effect. So his counterexample, his banana, in this case is going to be something which has dependence, but it's not cause and effect. Okay, because it's a banana. Okay, it's a fruit, but it's not red. Okay, got it? Okay, so this is your counterexample. And by now, an experienced student already knows what is in somewhere, somehow, in this example, there is dependence, but there's no cause and effect. Okay, because it's a counterexample. Got it?
Yeah.
Sexy. Okay.
So what is namka?
Yeah.
Now that's the question. He can tell you.
Space.
Space, empty space.
Okay.
When we do the 4-space meditation,
Yeah, okay.
it's the empty
This
space.
is the example. Okay.
Now, in colloquial Tibetan, it's the word for sky.
Sky.
But in philosophy, it's empty space. Now, empty space. Now, is there sky in this room? No, not blue sky. I mean, I don't know who brought this weather. One of you guys brought it.
We have lots of cloud in Singapore.
It never ever rained here. Never. Whole year it doesn't rain.
They say that every time it rains.
It's a desert. I mean, look at the ground. There's no palm trees. Okay. Singapore rains every afternoon. Okay. So anyway, difficult idea. And you know it because you know the 4-space meditations. Okay? This green drink cup is sitting in a place. It's occupying a space. Okay? There's a space where that cup is sitting. And that space has a quality of being accepting. Just feel me. It's okay, honey. Just be here. I won't push you out. Okay? That space is accepting of objects. Okay? It doesn't clash. This is not space. You can't put the cup, sorry. You can't put the cup in the banana. Okay? Space is defined as the absence of obstruction. Okay, so this is sitting in a space. Okay, this cup is sitting in a space. Big question, pay attention. If I take it out of that space, what happens to the space?
Empty.
Still there.
It's still there.
Unchanging.
Okay, it didn't go anywhere. It's just not filled. It's like a seat on the airplane. Fat guy sit down, seat is full. Fat guy get up, go to the bathroom, seat is still there. The seat never goes away, okay? So we say space is an example of an unchanging thing. And,
No cause.
yeah, if something is unchanging, it cannot have a cause. Because if it has a cause, the cause pushes the thing, and then the energy starts to, it goes, and then it goes. It never stays the same. Push, reaction, and then start to die. Okay, always looks like this. But this is not that. This is just like boom. Okay, like a constant sound or something. It never changes. Doesn't get louder, doesn't get softer, doesn't get bigger, doesn't get smaller. Just there, forever. If you destroy this planet, will it still be there? Yeah, it'll be in the same place. Destroy the whole Earth into dust. Move it to another galaxy. This space will still be. It'll be waiting for another planet to come. Got it? Okay. That's Namkha in philosophy. In poetry, it's the blue sky, so beautiful. Okay, got it? Is it a good chuchen?
Yes.
Is it a good counterexample?
Yes.
Why?
Because it proved that there is no cause.
What two qualities does it have?
Unchanging and
Good.
uncaused.
No, it is dependent,
Okay. Okay.
but it doesn't have cause and effect.
Nice.
So you,
Yeah.
because all things are dependent. Okay, it's gonna come here. It's gonna come here. Okay, Namkha Che Chen. Now, if you were listening during Adam's class, the word tell in a debate has two meanings. It can either mean, if you go down, if your voice goes down, Cheni Den Tao means, are you, it's a sarcastic statement. Are you telling me your definition fits that? Cheni means definition.
Oh,
Are you telling me that's the definition of dependence for space? Are you telling me that? If you go up, Cheni Den Tao, it means you believe it. That is the definition. It means like that with your hands. Tao. 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 Okay, say practice. Tao. Cheni Den Tao. It is. Okay, now go down. Cheni Den Tao. Are you telling me that this is the definition? Okay, it's sarcastic. Okay, okay. All men are stupid. Take Sugami. Are you telling me he's stupid? Okay, it's like sarcasm. Okay, so which one is it here? By the way, we said in his class the first tell is always
wrong.
It's always
Always
down. It's always sarcastic. Okay, just if you want to make life simple, that's all you have to remember. Cheni Der Tao. Oh, so that definition fits space? Okay, the dependence of space? Okay.
This is the same person as the one saying Namkha Chichen, right? Or
Yeah.
different?
When the new Serna comes, it's a new person. Normally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Namkha Serna.
okay, because Konare means that somebody comes.
Okay.
And when you hit your next, when you hit here, Kachignare, it's a new guy.
Kachana. Oh, so the whole
Okay.
segment here is one person.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, Nare, up until the next Nare, is one guy. Now, it might be that this guy supports this guy's viewpoints, but he's a different guy. Because it says one mouth, one guy comes, okay?
Oh, okay.
Now, in a debate, when someone gives you this, are you telling me he's a stupid guy? You know, You have two choices. You have two choices. You can say, yes, I agree. Or you can say, why you say that? Why you think that? Why you say that? Okay, in Tibetan, how do you say, I agree? Duh. Duh. And you say it like that. You don't say duh, you say, duh. Is your husband stupid also? Duh. Yes. Okay? Then you're like, okay? That's the end of the argument. Okay? Duh. Okay? If you don't agree, you say chi-chir. Chi-chir. You hang on the chi a little bit. Chi-chir. And that means, why you say that? Why you say that? Okay? In this case, chi-chir, right? You telling me he's also stupid? She said all men are stupid. I said, oh, let's take Sugam. Is he stupid? Then you say chi-chir. Okay? All right? Got it? So here, we said, Senyi da tao. Oh, your definition of dependence must fit empty space. Okay? Okay? Okay, I like your definition. Anything that depends on a cause. I like it. Very nice. Let's talk about empty space. You know, is that the definition? Does that definition fit the dependence of empty space? And then this guy, we don't write in a book his answer.
Okay.
We deduce it from the next statement. If he said chi-chir here, we say de-chir. When you see de-chir, it means there's a missing chi-chir here. Okay? And I suggest you supply it. Okay? So I'll tell you what it says and then I'll tell you how you translate it. Are you telling me that's its definition of its dependence? Are you telling me that's the definition of its dependence? And then understood response, sometimes you can put it A, B, A, B, A, B. Mr. B says, why you say that? It's not written here. I want to write it in your translation because otherwise it'll be confusing for the reader. Okay, the opponent says chi-chir in English. Why do you say that? You know, why do you say
Why
that?
do you say that? Oh.
Yeah, sunja de-chir, because it is a dependent thing.
Oh,
Sunja means the thing defined, definitum. In logic. Okay. Yeah, definitum. We're not going to use that word. It's an old logic word. Definition and the thing you're defining. Definition and the thing you're defining. Seni, sunja. Seni, sunja. Okay. Yeah, BYA is ja, right? So, are you telling me that's the definition of dependence for space? Okay, and then the guy says, why do you say that? And you say, because it's something that you're defining. It's something that you want to define is the dependence of space. Got it? Sunja decha, okay? The dependence of space is what? Are you telling me your definition fits it? Because this is one thing that has dependence. It is an example of something that has dependence. It's what you're defining. It's dependence. It's a kind of dependence, space. Okay? It has, okay? Sunja decha. Okay, got it? You okay?
Yeah.
It's what you're defining. Then he says to that, the second tell, in this case, you believe.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is, space does have dependence. Space is one example of what dependence, the definition of dependence applies to that, okay? So you go up or down?
Tao?
Yeah, nice. Say, data? Of course it's something to be defined as dependent. It is too. In English we say it is too.
It's true.
Okay? Toyota's a car? No. It is too. Of course it is. It means of course it is. Data? Of course it is. Why? Sorry. Now, very, very, very beautiful. And in the first page of this book, you learn something deep about dependent origination. In the first page of this book, in the first argument, you learn something deep about dependent origination, because we say it is too has dependence because rangi chashe la tune dubecher. Say rangi chashe la tune dubecher. Okay, we okay? Doctor, we okay? We're here. We're here. Chashe means parts, like the parts of a car. Rangi means its own parts. On them, la, tune, depending or relying. You have to use a different word here because he used a different word in his own language. So you cannot say depend here. You have to say rely. Drupa, because here drupa means exists. It exists in reliance upon its parts. It exists in reliance upon its parts. Because it exists in reliance upon its parts. And sometimes the short definition of dependent origination is tune drupa. Anything that exists in dependence, in reliance. Right? Okay. To do. Okay. It's dendels. Dunchik. Synonyms. Okay. Tune drupa is sometimes the short definition of dependent origination. Okay.
That's the view of the lower middle way.
Yes.
Okay, then use
But it's pretty cool. And this particular view is accepted by Prasangika. Yeah.
Mr. Wu is asking, what's the dependence of the unchanging thing?
That's it right there.
Oh, okay.
It's one of them. It's one of them. Okay. And it's a very good question. Okay. So his definition of dependent origination was unacceptable. Okay. He said anything that depends on its causes is the meaning of dependent origination. So then we gave a counterexample, banana. Oh, well, I guess space depends on its causes. And he said, well, why do you say that? And then we say, because it does have dependent origination. Then he says, I disagree, that it has dependent origination. And then we said, yes, it does, because it depends on its parts. Okay? Okay? Because it depends on its parts. Okay? Now we say something radical. We're going to prove our proof. We're going to give a reason for our reason. Okay? We said it has dependent origination because
It has parts.
it depends on its
Depends on
part.
its
It depends on its part. Okay? And then we say, we add to our reason. It's called a split reason. We add to our reason because it exists. Because it exists.
It depends on its parts because it is. Oh, both because it exists and because it depends on its parts.
What's the implication? Give me the kyaba.
That everything that exists
Everything
depends on
exists
its
as
parts.
parts.
Yeah, if something exists, it depends on its parts. Okay, okay. Is it true?
Yeah.
Does everything have parts?
Yeah.
But these are both cheers.
What about a partless atom?
Have parts.
It's sort of a double reason. Sometimes it's allowed. Because it did a cheer. But it implies a kyaba. It does imply a kyaba.
But not to this, just to
It
this.
does. No. Well, both. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Okay. There's two kyabas implied here.
Yeah.
Okay.
When you say because it exists, it's this line.
Yeah, she drupa means because it exists. Now, there's a shorter way to say because it exists, so we better say this differently somehow. Yesterday we said because it's real. Okay. The literal word, let's see if it exists in Sanskrit, by the way. She drup. Okay, let's see if it's a Sanskrit expression.
Are the two kyapas, like one is that if something is dependent on its parts, then it's dependent, and the other one is that if something exists, then it has parts?
Hang on one second. I don't think Shidrup exists in Sanskrit. Oh, here it is. Shraya Siddha. Okay. Shraya Siddha. Ashraya Siddha. Ashraya.
Shaya, Siddha.
Oh, by the way,
Right.
you see this Ashraya Siddha?
Yeah.
Okay. Ashraya
Ashraya.
means basis. Ashraya.
It's a long A.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Ashraya.
Right here. Ashraya. Because now listen.
Shaya.
Listen. Because this is a long A,
Yeah.
if you split it, what would it be?
It would be
Ashraya. Asiddha.
Ashraya, Siddha.
If this were a short A, and you split it, it would be Ashraya Siddha.
Ashraya, Siddha. Yeah.
Okay. The foundation obtains
So if it's a long A, it implies that there was a short A.
that there was a negative.
There was
So be careful. If you split this one, it does not exist. Because that means there's two A's here. Okay? Long A. Two short A's become one long A in Sanskrit.
Okay.
This is Shi Madru. Does not exist. Shi Drup would be Ashraya Siddha without the long A.
Ashraya.
Got it? Very subtle. Very subtle, okay? So is this a Sanskrit word? Yes. What is it? Ashraya Siddha.
Siddha.
Yeah, okay. The foundation does exist. And that's an ancient way to say it exists. Okay? How would you say that in English? Maybe you can say it's real or something. Okay? It's real. Okay? You have to use a different word than exist, especially in a logic text, because then you can say it exists because it's real. You see, you have to have two.
Okay. Could
You, as we said, you can't use the same word in a proof. You can't say it's real because it's real. You know, you have to use two different words. Okay.
Can I say it is? Just that.
Yeah, technically in English you can do it, but it's going to be nasty when you translate it. Okay. Anyway, his reason here implies that if something exists, it must have parts. Okay. Okay.
It does.
The second
Because his tau refers to the thing to be defined, which is
Then you would have 14.
anything.
Yeah.
Now,
Because mankind is a thing.
Because what?
now listen, especially Adam. The next phrase here is deux minutes. Deux minutes means you cannot agree. You cannot agree. Deux minutes. You cannot agree. You cannot agree.
Able to.
Yeah. That answer from us implies that he changed his answer. He said, "Oh, I'm sorry. My husband's not stupid." You know, like, he went back to the beginning,
I see.
and he said, "No, I changed my answer." And if you think that's rare, you never went to the debate ground. You prove the guy's wrong, you know. And he says, "Oh yeah, no, I changed my answer." You know, my definition does fit space. My definition of dependence does fit empty space. He changed his answer. Okay.
My definition of space.
My definition of dependence that I gave in the beginning does fit space. What was his definition of dependence? Anything which depends on causes. Okay? Now he changed his story. Oh, my definition does fit space. First he said it didn't. Okay? Now he says yes, it does. Which what's he saying when he says I changed my answer? He's saying space does depend on its causes.
That's
The dependence of space is that it does depend on its causes. He changed his story. He changed, and it's in an argument with your wife. It's the same, you know. I don't want to go today because it's raining. She says, I don't want to. Okay, I do want to go because it's raining. Yeah, but that's also wrong. Okay, got it? I change it. I change. Yes, you're right. My definition does fit space. Your first Tao. Oh, Seni Yimbata. Are you telling me that's the definition of the dependence of space also? And he started out saying no. But now he says, you know what? Let's use it for space. It's okay. Let's use it. So, Adam, what phrase is assumed before we say 2 minutes? What did he say?
He said that things depend on. Things are going to depend on being caused.
Causes, yeah. So what's understood in there is Sawanduna.
Which would,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree to your first statement. I agree to your first statement. I changed my story. My definition does fit space. Okay? My definition does fit the dependence of space, which is to say,
Space depends on a cause.
yeah, space depends on its causes. He changed his story. Okay, got it? So in your text, it would be Tsawarduna. Go back to the original sarcastic statement, and he doesn't say, why do you say that? He says, I agree. So is your husband stupid also? Instead of saying, no, I don't agree. Now, because I beat you that way, now you say, you know what? You're right, he is stupid. Okay? Then I have to prove you're wrong again. I have to prove you're wrong again. Okay? So this is what we're doing here. You can't agree. You can't say I agree. Why? Because Dumachayan. Dumachayan is the Buddhist word for unchanging thing. Okay? Unchanging thing. Literally, not produced thing. Okay? And probably we should say unproduced thing. Okay? It is an unproduced thing. And if you want to be very clear, you would say it's an existing thing which is not produced. Okay? Because things that don't exist are also not produced. Okay? Got it? Okay. So we're not going to say unchanging thing here. We're going to say a thing which has not been produced. Meaning by causes. By causes. Did anyone can you point to a time when the space that this cup is in was first made?
No.
Impossible.
Yeah.
Okay. It never was produced by causes. And that's the big mistake of science. Oh, boom, everything's dark. Well, what caused the boom? Nothing. What's the scientific theory? Everything has a cause. Except everything, right?
They're starting to back away from
They're starting. They should have backed away about 100 years ago. Come on, Big Bang me, honey. Don't Big Bang me, honey. Okay, so it's not an easy translation, and it's subtle. Okay, so good luck. Okay, and I could go over it with you again, or you can struggle with it. Now, what's the Buddhist system? I threw you in the swimming pool. That's how my mom taught me how to swim. I remember. She picked me up. She says, "You're going to learn to swim." I'm like, "When?" She goes, "Poosh." I'm like, oh. And I learned, So, I mean, she was watching. I think she would have pulled me out. But she said, "You're not having swimming lessons. We can't afford it." Okay. So you struggle. Okay? And don't get mad. Okay? It took me years to learn this. And I had to struggle because my teacher couldn't speak English. And he insisted on teaching it in English. And we're like, this book wrote Tsongkhapa. Okay. All right. Let's do another one since it's so easy. So I'm just going to cut it up for you. You can automate this, by the way. This is a little bit of a longer argument, but But the good news is he's going to change the subject after this one. Okay, that's...
One is finished.
No, we're not finished. Oh, the last one was finished, yeah.
Oh.
When you say kachinare, a new one is starting. A new guy's coming. You beat up the last guy, and now a new guy comes to get some punishment.
So the last lines you cannot agree, that's it?
Dumache yimbe. No, dumache yimbe, because it's not a produced thing.
Too much in page.
Okay.
That's it.
Yeah. To be more precise, you would have to say because it's an unproduced thing. Because if you said it's a thing which is not produced, that also applies to non-existence. So you have to be very careful here, okay?
Does Dumache always refer then to the existing things, Sean?
Yes,
We could never-
yes. It's the division that we had in DCI level 7. Existence divides into produced things and unproduced things. But unproduced doesn't mean unexisting, okay? Unproduced things that exist is understood. Okay, got it? Because things that haven't happened yet are also unproduced. Like tomorrow is unproduced right now. But it doesn't exist according to most schools. Okay. So he's going to modify. So it's like I watched a cowboy movie last night. Okay, that's why I didn't check your translations. Me and Veronica watched I said, I'm so tired. Let's watch a cowboy movie. We watched a 1955 cowboy movie, John Wayne and Robert Mitchum. And you know, so they keep shooting the bad guys. And then there's more bad guys, okay? So that's just like this text. You shot the first guy, he's down, then there's another one come. Okay, they come like this, one after another, okay, like that. Kachinare, here's the second bad guy. The first bad guy is on the ground. We beat him, okay? He's the guy who said what?
Which one? The last guy?
He's the only guy so far.
Things come from causes. Yeah.
He didn't say that.
Everything is dependent because they come from causes.
No, he said the meaning of dependent origination is when something comes from its causes.
Yeah.
That's the meaning of dependent origination in Buddhism. He said that. Okay. Now, in the cowboy movie last night, the first guy has a regular gun. The second guy has this pistol like this. So the second guy is coming with a more sophisticated pistol. Okay. The second guy is going to take the first guy's gun and make it bigger. Okay. He's going to make more detail. Okay. He's going to change his definition a little bit, and he's going to hope that it's big enough to kill John Wayne. Okay. Here we go.
Just have 2 minutes.
What?
Yeah.
A little bit. A few more. Let's go a little bit more. Yeah. Here, I'm going to give you his second guy's gun. Okay. The definition of dependence for produced things. Okay. Now he's getting more. So he says, I don't want to talk about space and all that stuff. Let's stick to things that were made in factories or, you know, babies. Okay, let's stick to things that were produced. That's his first change. His first change. Let's talk about the definition of dependent origination for things that change, okay? It's anything which trupa, past tense, which has come into existence, okay? Anything which has come into existence through contact with its causes and conditions. Through contact with its causes and conditions. Tepa. Tepa. Okay, tepa means this, you know, contact. It's this moment. Okay, got it? So he's changing, he's making the definition more precise. First of all, I'm only talking about produced things. You can forget your little empty space. Okay? And the definition of dependence for produced things is anything that came about, trupa, past tense, through contact with its causes and conditions. In Buddhism, conditions means water, fertilizer, sunlight. Cause means seed of a tree. Okay? Conditions means, what do you call it? Supporting conditions. Yeah. So in Buddhism, gyu and ken. Gyu means main cause. When you say gyu ken, Gyu means the seed that turned into the tree. And Ken means the water, the fertilizer, the sunlight, the effort of the human, okay, to plant the seed, okay? So he's saying that's the definition of dependent origination. Four things which are produced. Okay. Now I'll give you the punchline because we ran out of time. Okay. Watch. You ready? So we gotta sit together. Not too close. Don't touch yet. You and Xiaoping. Okay. Now watch. Okay. Did I cause her to move?
No. Oh yeah, yes,
Yes.
indirectly.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool.
So dependence also covers indirect causing.
Oh.
Okay. Did I make contact with Xiaoping?
No.
So we learned something deeper about dependent origination. It's cool. It doesn't have to be direct contact. It can be indirect.
So this guy
Okay.
is coming with this argument.
That's our counterexample.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'll kind of.
Yeah, because he defined dependent origination as must have contact.
Okay.
And then we just give an example. You can choose anything. You can choose Xiaoping moving. Take Xiaoping moving.
I see, I see.
Is it not caused by Geshe Michael moving? Why? Because I didn't contact her.
There's no contact.
There's no contact. Okay. So by the way, this gets into a subject which he will cover called direct causation and indirect causation. Direct causation and indirect causation. I'll give you something sexier, much sexier. The postman and the person who wrote the letter.
Yeah.
That's deeper.
Okay? Who brought the yelling words to you when you walked in the house? Who's the postman? Your husband. Who wrote the letter? I did when I yelled at my kids last week. I yelled at my kids last week, I plant a seed. Then my husband delivers me the yelling. But I plant the seed. I wrote the letter. He's just the postman. Do you blame Geshe Michael or do you blame Ben if her shoulder hurts? Yeah. He's just the postman. He's the direct cause, I'm the indirect cause. Got it? So it's very important for the study of emptiness and for karma. We're not interested in Ben. Don't blame Ben. It's me, I caused the trouble. Now I want to show you something really cool. Okay, you ready? Everybody ready? You got it. You just do it with your hand. Okay, all around the table. You ready?
Okay.
You ready? All around the table. No, like this. Look. No, sorry. No, sorry. Stop. Xiaoping start. You start.
Oh,
Yeah, go.
back around. I see. Yeah.
Go quick.
Yeah.
Oh, Ben, I hate you. Okay?
Yeah.
She blamed Ben.
Yeah.
Why you hit me? Why you hit me? Let's do it again. Go. Oh, Ben! Oh, Ben, you're so bad. I didn't do anything. Ben, you're such a bad person. You hit me. Understand?
Okay.
That's why in logic we study direct causes and indirect causes. You are the indirect cause of your own pain. Always. You're not the deliverer. You're not the instrument. But you are the cause. But not direct.
I see.
Right? You didn't make contact with yourself. Okay. But you are the cause. So the study of this subject is very beautiful. Yeah. So next time your wife yells at you, if he complains, you just say, what did Geshe-la say? That's why I invite Mrs. Sugang today. This is Shen-Tian. I'd like to introduce Shen-Tian. Thank you. Okay, yeah. Okay, let's go. Puki Jushin Medo Tam Rira Mingshin Nende Embadi Sangye Shindu Mite Uwardi Dokun Abdak Shingla Chuparsho Iram Guru 디게워군 서남예시 속소신 서남예시 레중웨 담바궁이 더발쇼